Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we are back on the free-to-play account, and as I got most of you used to this account and this series, is basically I have the goal of trying to hit Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss on this account. Obviously, free-to-play means I'm not going to spend anything. I'm just going to go with, you know, whatever luck I have from pulling shards, taking the fusion, and so on. So I thought about it. Well, since this series is called Road to Ultra Nightmare, then let's start talking about the clan boss. You know, how do we deal with the clan boss? How do we do damage? what are the most important things to bring in clan boss? I even had like several people that, you know, started playing the game as you know, for the first time playing this type of game. And like I said, this series is mostly aimed towards people like that. I don't have the craziest view from obviously people that know about this game, from endgame people, but I want this one to be focused on people that still are learning the game and do not know how to deal with clan boss. So obviously, first things first, like there's different difficulties. When you start off the game, you're usually building. So if you followed around my series, you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. If not, go back to the first one and start watching them along, and then come back to this one, so you're gonna understand what I mean. So early on, you're obviously just gonna hit easy. You're gonna have whatever champions you can get in there. If you have a poisoner, that's gonna help you a lot. You have baby poisons, you have your starter that you're trying to get 6-star, and that's one of the main people that you're gonna bring in. For example, if I go here, let me see. Okay, I don't have a key, but if I went in there, my main team at the moment are my starter and my usual champion. So Tylesia, Elhain, Apothecary, Frozen Banshee, and Bivald of the Thorn. The whole idea with Hydra is, with Hydra, I don't want to just say Hydra, with Clan Boss, with the Demon Lord, is you want to do as much damage as possible because you have certain milestones in here. So these milestones are for, like, depending on how much you do. Let me move myself over here, actually, this side. So depending on how much damage you do, so you have like ranges, that's the type of chest you will get. So basically, early on, you might just get the novice one, then you might get to the second novice one, then you might get to the adept chest, and then warrior chest. Then when you move on to normal, it's different ranges and different chests, so the chests keep going higher. The goal in this game is to try and get to as higher clan boss as possible, because you get, like, the best rewards in the game are from the clan boss. Period. Because you get, like, if you get to the last point, Ultra Nightmare, you basically get free shards, get free books, which are really, really hard to get in this game. At the same time, you get gems, you get silver, you get pots that you use to ascend your champions. So this is something that should always be the focus. After you can farm Dragon, like a decent stage, like I said, 13 or 16, after you can start farming that stage, you need to start working on clan boss and trying to get at least to hard or brutal. After you get to Dragon 20 and you can farm 20 consistently, that's when you start pushing to Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare, because from Dragon 20 you will get decent enough gear for your champions to use for clan boss. So yeah, these are the ranges for the chests. For example, on my account, I'm currently sorry guys, I think I had, like, a frog in my throat, as they call it. On my account, I'm currently fighting hard on this free-to-play. And I can sometimes 3-key it, sometimes 2-key it, depending on the damage that I do. And the reason for that is because I don't have enough, I don't have yet enough damage to hit that milestone of 11 million, 11.6 million. And let me show you exactly what I mean by I don't have enough damage. So like I said, my team is Tylesia, Elhain, Apothecary, Frozen Banshee, and Bivald of the Thorn. The damage that I have currently is, number 1, Elhain from War Master. This one does 60% damage when attacking, and has so he has a 60% chance to do 10% of the champion's max HP. It's not gonna be from the total of the Demon Lord's max HP, but it's a certain number, like it's a fixed number that you get there. And this is really important whenever you fight either the clan boss or any other boss in the game. Any other boss that has a high health pool, you want to have War Master for them on your champions that, do damage, or even the support champions. If you're not using them for like specific other things with high resistance, or high accuracy and stuff like that, if you're using them in your dungeons or even clan boss like I'm using them, you definitely want War Master. Another mastery that is like this one is Giant Slayer. The only difference between those is Giant Slayer can proc several times, and Giant Slayer is mostly recommended to use on people that have 3 hitters or more in their kit. So for example, let me show you Apothecary. I don't have those bottom masteries yet, but I will go for Giant Slayer because he has a triple hitter on the A1. So because of this, every time he, like, all 3 of those hits can actually proc Giant Slayer. Giant Slayer does a little bit less damage than War Master, and at the same time has a higher chance to proc, but it's useful when you have triple hits. So maybe one time it doesn't proc, maybe another time it procs on all 3 of the hits. This is something to keep in mind. So War Master if they have 1 or 2 hitters, and Giant Slayer if they had 3 or more hitters. So there's even champions that have like 4 hitters. This is what you need to keep in mind. At the same time, something that's extremely useful to combine with the War Master and Giant Slayer for early on, and even for later stages of the clan boss and the PvE overall, is the Life Drinker, because this one heals by 5% of the damage inflicted when attacking with 50% HP or less. This one can proc after you're lower than 50% HP, and if you proc the War Master and Giant Slayer, most of the time you're gonna heal to full or close to full HP because of this one. So this is something you always take: Life Drinker with the Giant Slayer and War Master. Everything else, like the defensive or the supportive masteries, it just depends on what your champion's kits, what you will take. So, but we're specific, we're not talking about all of the masteries right now, we're just talking about specifically what we need for you know, what we need to do damage on clan boss. So War Master and Giant Slayer are the first things. The next thing that's really helpful and does huge damage is poisons. Sorry again. It's poisons. That's why I am using Frozen Banshee. So what does Frozen Banshee do? On her A1, each hit has, after booked, a 100% chance of placing a 5% poison for 2 turns if target is under poison sensitivity. She has poison sensitivity in her kit, so she lands this one, and then she starts doing A1s, A1s, and A1s to land those poisons. These poisons take every single turn for 20, 30, 40, 50k HP, depending on the clan boss level. So for example, early on when you don't have any War Master or Giant Slayers, the poisons can be the easiest way to do damage. Always try to get at least 1 or 2 people that do poisons in your clan boss team, or for example in my case, I'm only using Frozen Banshee because I have alongside Thylesia that does this, that extends all the debuffs. So because she extends all the debuffs, most of the time the debuff bar of the clan boss is full. Since I mentioned that, let me explain to you what I mean. The debuff bar of the clan boss, or like any boss in general, you can only have 10 debuffs at one time. So it doesn't matter that Thylesia can keep extending, and it's like always full of poisons and they never wear off. Frozen Banshee cannot keep putting more. If you have 10 debuffs in total on the clan boss, that is it. So you have to be careful what champions you're bringing along in there, because you do not want to put useless debuffs basically on there. So for example, my Thylesia, I'm gonna have Hex in there. That's part of her passive. That's not gonna help me, but I cannot turn this one off, so I cannot control it. At the same time, when I'm gonna bring Marked in there, she has decreased accuracy. Decreased accuracy doesn't really help me. It's a useless buff that is gonna be on a clan boss, so I will not use that. Okay, another way to do damage apart from the poisons are HP burns. Poisons you can stack several of them, so you can have like 10 poisons on the debuff bar as an example. HP burn you can only have 1. The difference is HP burn does more damage. So that HP burn tick, every time the clan boss takes a turn, it takes for the poison than for the HP burn. HP burn does a little bit more damage. A champion as an example is Coffin Smasher that has, after booked, 75% chance to place an HP burn. This is somebody that I will be working on my account, because transitioning from how to do more damage, let's mention another debuff that's really useful in there that helps you do damage, but in a different way, like not directly but indirectly. That debuff is decreased attack. So after he's ascended, he's gonna have the high version of decreased attack. So he has a triple hitter, after book 30%. So he could be really good. He's gonna be a really good champion for that, to get me the decreased attack. Having decreased attack on the clan boss for the AoEs means that it's gonna do less damage. If the clan boss does less damage, what does that mean? It means we're gonna last longer. So we're gonna go for more turns, which is gonna give the HP burns, the poisons, the War Master and Giant Slayers more chances to proc, to tick, and to keep hitting that clan boss. So this is after the damage. Decreased attack is one of the most important debuffs that you want to have early on the clan boss. Even if you have just like a baby version on a champion that you're using already for overall content, do it. I wouldn't suggest like, oh yes, level somebody that has the 25% attack one. No, if he has a higher one and you want to use them specifically for that, then yes, level that champion up for the decreased attack because it's going to be useful. Coffin Smasher is also extremely good because he brings a 5% damage reduction. So the clan boss does 5% less damage when attacking with his AoEs. One funny thing was when I did my pulls, like on the last video, not on the free to play, and I rage pulled a 10. I did a 10 rage pull for on the free to play. I got a Coffin Smasher, so I'm really happy about this. I also got myself another, what's it called, marked. I got myself another marked for the Res Infusion that I'm really happy about, because this one I'm gonna keep, like I mentioned, because I'm gonna build her for clan boss. Another debuff. Now we're going back to the debuffs. Another debuff that's really good for the clan boss is, there are actually two of them: decrease defense and weaken. On normal, let me double check. So I think it was like on easy, normal, and hard. I think if I remember correctly, weaken is more effective than decreased defense is, because the clan boss doesn't have as much HP. Let me show you, for example. So weaken, I have it on Scabrius. After I get it booked, this is the debuff. Basically what this does is every time you attack the clan boss, it straight up receives 25% less damage. So weaken, more damage. So if there's weaken there, that means that the clan boss is like, you know, for example, let's say you hit for 100k on a normal hit. If there's weaken, you're gonna hit for 125k. Weaken also influences the damage that War Master and Giant Slayer procs do from the mastery. So if you don't have any weaken or decreased defense, the Giant Slayer and War Master damage is gonna be lower. Same principle as weaken is the decreased defense, which is more effective from brutal or maybe even hard. Like I don't remember exactly 100%, but I know from hard or brutal, decreased defense is more effective than weaken. So decreased defense, same principle. It straight up reduces the defense of the clan boss by 60%. Therefore, meaning not just the War Master and Giant Slayer, but obviously every single hit does more damage. But the War Master and Giant Slayer ones are the ones that do more damage early on. It's a good idea if you have the champions to have both, to have decreased defense and weaken. That means you do even more damage. So, you know, for example, my team, I'm gonna switch out. I'm gonna take Apothecary out at a certain point, and I'm gonna bring Scabrius. That's gonna bring me that weaken in there. Okay, what other debuffs can I think of? Honestly, I think for the debuffs, at least for ways of doing damage, that's about it. Another thing that's sort of like indirectly doing damage that can help out is having a buff on yourself that basically increases your survivability. So for example, Mark, the one that I mentioned I will use, has on her A3 increased defense, 60% increased defense on all allies for 2 turns. What does this mean? That means that basically we're gonna receive 60% less damage when the clan boss attacks us. So again, just like with the decreased attack, if you bring the increased defense, it means you're gonna last longer, therefore you're gonna do more damage. I guess this is it about the ways, because I just want to focus on this one, on ways to do more damage. So I guess I'm gonna come like later on when I'm gonna start rebuilding champions and doing some builds in there. I'm gonna start and explain again some other debuffs maybe, but I guess yeah, you know what, let's just mention this one as well. Leech, for example, is an extremely good debuff to have, because what Leech does is it's like an inbuilt lifesteal. So if you have Leech on the person that you're attacking, every time you attack them, you heal by 18, for example with Leech, by 18% of the damage inflicted. So for my team, after I'm gonna bring Scabrius in there, or like any other champion does Leech, after you bring that champion in there, you straight you can straight up not worry about building lifesteal set on your champions. At the moment I have lifesteal on her, and marked, my goal was trying to get everybody in lifesteal, because that way you can survive more, because you keep healing and coming back to full HP, so you don't get killed as fast. After I get Scabrius's Leech, I'm not gonna have to worry about bringing War Master, and I can bring other sets in there. Talking about other sets, I just realized, you know, okay, there's so much information, so I'm trying to just keep it to specific clan boss stuff, and we're gonna come another video to talk about other things. But one last set that I'm gonna talk about is, as an example, that another helpful damage dealing ability for clan boss. It's the Toxic set. Toxic set is basically a 4-set piece that you see that I have on my apothecary, that straight up it says 75% chance to place a 2.5% poison debuff. It's weaker than the normal debuff that Frozen Banshee does, but it still takes for a decent amount of damage. One caveat about this one though, about Toxic, is you do not need accuracy to land the Toxic set. All the sets in general, the Toxic, the Taunting, the Stun, the Sleep, any set that does a debuff does not require accuracy for you to land those debuffs, so that's helpful if you want to build somebody like, in my case, Apothecary, that doesn't need any accuracy in his kit because he has no debuffs. I can put him in Toxic set, he's gonna bring more damage with that, apart from just having Giant Slayer once I'm gonna have that finished. Let me see, anything else? Oh yeah, a quick caveat in case like people haven't realized it, but I guess I'm gonna talk about that like in another video. The debuffs, usually the things that require you to build accuracy to land, are all the skills that are in red. So for example, see, poison is in red, poison sensitivity is red, decreased defense is in red. So all of the skills that have red on them require accuracy to land. At the same time, there's a few other exceptions that are not written with red but require accuracy, and that is decreasing turn meter, transferring debuffs or spreading debuffs, locking out skills, or turn meter control. So all stuff that basically anything that influences your enemy's abilities, skills, turn meter, whatever, anything that you have to do to the enemy requires accuracy. Apart from that, you're good. Everything that's with blue and other stuff that's buffs, you don't need any accuracy. For example, like marked, see, it's with blue, this is just buffs, you don't need accuracy for that. You might want it for the baby decreased defense or for the decreased attack. But yeah, I think this will be it. It was actually a longer video than I expected, but at the end of the day, that's the reality of you know, when you're talking about clan boss and building teams around that in general. It's quite a little bit of information, but I hope this is helpful. I hope this helps you out there, because like I said, I had people asking me, okay, how do I do damage in clan boss? So this one's specifically for that. If you think that I forgot something, just mention it in the comments below, and I can pin in my comments, say, okay, check comments below, because in case I forgot something, I can have people look at that. But yeah, like I said, this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. So see you in the next one. Peace, love, take care, bye.